Greetings, Space Cadets, and welcome to another week of 3, 2, 1, Blastoff! During Blastoff, we'll be training for the adventure of a lifetime, the adventure of traveling through space. But not only that, we'll be taking the adventure of following Jesus. Are you ready? Me too. Let's get it, Chip.
Greetings, Space Cadets. I have a question. What do you call a peanut in a spacesuit? Answer in 3, 2, 1, an astronaut. Ha ha. Seriously though, eating peanuts and other food in zero gravity could be tricky. As your food floats around you, it is essential that you have complete control over your mouth and tongue. You must be prepared in order to receive the necessary nutrition to survive.
Okay, Space Cadets, sounds like we have our next training mission. Miss Riley is going to be our guest helper for today, and Miss Glenna is going to come hold the donuts, and we're going to see which one of us can finish the donut first, but the challenge is we only have 30 seconds to do it. So let's see who can do it. Ready?
Excellent job, Space Cadets. During space travel, it is important to keep control over your mouth and tongue, not only for the purpose of eating, but also for the purpose of speaking. Your next training mission is to discover why it is important to control your words. You will find instructions in the Ultimate Training Manual, the Bible. Look up James chapter 3 verses 3 through 5. Then listen to the story of David and Abigail from 1 Samuel chapter 25 to complete the mission.
Thanks, Chip. We have our next mission, and it starts in the book of James, chapter 3, verses 3 through 5. Listen carefully to see if you can tell what the verses are saying. We put a small piece of metal in the mouth of a horse to make it obey us. We can control the whole animal with it. How about a ship? They are very big. They are driven along by strong winds, but they are also steered by a very small rudder. It makes them go where the captain wants it to go. In the same way, the tongue is a small part of a person's body, but it talks big. Think about how a small spark can set a big forest on fire. Those verses were kind of tricky. What do you think they're talking about?
In the book 1 Samuel, there's a story about a guy named Nabal. Nabal had a problem though. He was rude and mean. Nabal was married to Abigail. Abigail was both beautiful and wise.
One day, David and his army were camping in the desert near Nabal's house. And you know, one day, David was going to be the king of Israel. And his army, they were getting very tired and they were hungry and they needed to find something to eat. So they decided to approach Nabal's house and ask if there was anything that he had for them to eat. And David said to him, "May you live a long life. May everything go well with you and your family. Please give me and my men something to eat, anything that you have."
Were those words kind or unkind? That's right, they were kind. But when Nabal heard the request, he shouted. He said, "Why should I give away my bread, my water? Why should I give away food to men who I have no idea where they even come from?" Were those words kind or unkind? That's right, they were unkind. And when David heard what he had said, he gathered his army and prepared them for battle. When Abigail heard what Nabal said to David, she jumped into action. She gathered enough food and enough drink for the army and David and took it to them. She said, "I'm sorry for what my husband has said. The Lord is with you. I brought you a gift for you and your men."
Were those words kind or unkind. Abigail's words were kind. When David heard these words from her, the anger drained from him. He laid his sword down and accepted the food and drink. With just a few kind words, Abigail was able to stop David from killing Nabal. Couple of questions for you. What was your favorite part of the story today? And if you were Nabal, what would you have said? Now that you've heard the story, let's go over some questions. The answers that you have, if you'll type them in the bottom in the comment section, that would be great. So first question is, the book of James compares the tongue with what? A spark, B, a horse bit, C, a ship rudder, D, all of the above. The answer is D, all of the above. Next question. Where were David and his army camped at? A, on a nearby mountain, B, in the desert near Nabal's house, C, on the shore of the Red Sea, D, in a dense jungle. B, in the desert near Nabal's house. Number 3, what did Nabal say to David when he asked for help? A, I'd be glad to give you bread and water. B, I'll give you bread but no water. C, why should I give away my bread and water? D, get out of my yard or I'm going to call the cops. C, why should I give away my bread and water? Is the correct answer. Question 4, what did Abigail say to David? A, I'm sorry for what my husband said. B, I agree with what my husband said. C, I'm angry with what my husband said. Or D, I'm laughing at what my husband said. Correct answer is A, I'm sorry for what my husband said.
Congratulations! You have successfully completed your training mission. Your tongue is small, but it has the power to form words that could cause big trouble. God wants us to tame our tongue and choose our words carefully, just like Abigail did. This week, practice controlling your mouth by using kind words and eating donuts.
I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Tune in next week for our last training mission. Have a good week!